Looks at me and they're like, yeah, just go north. I want to kill myself.
Right, it's
honestly. I'm like, what do you mean? In my head, I'm like, okay, cool. But when I'm standing, I'm like, that's north.
Right, you're like, so the north is the one that's in front of me.
I don't understand.
That's how I learned it.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited to talk about this. When you were like, I would love to talk about body image, eating disorders, disordered eating, that whole subject, because this has been such a real part of my life, still is a part of my life. However, not a lot of people want to talk about it, and I get it. It's a delicate conversation. I never want to say the wrong thing. I know, unfortunately, how real this is amongst women, and so I kind of just want to have an open and honest conversation about it, just to normalize it, demystify it a little bit, and also because when you are going through a complicated moment with food, with your body, with your relationship to yourself and these subjects, it can feel so isolating. I don't know about you, but when I was at my lowest, I didn't tell anybody. So I felt so alone. And I also feel like now, thank God, we have so many more conversations about this, but I want to be part of that conversation because it was such a big part of my 20s. And it's still something that I'm struggling with. I think I'll always have.
It never goes away.
Right.
Yeah.
I think one of my questions for you was like, how do you feel about recovery? Do you think recovery, it's ever like, oh, I'm healed? I don't know that I'll get there, ideally. But I think there's always going to be a little.
The behaviors can change and like urges will come up and like we're able to change our behaviors. That's within our control. Thoughts are automatic.
Exactly.
Like you can't make the thoughts go away.
My therapist always used to call it my like eating disorder brain. Yeah. Like sometimes I would say something, she'd be like, that's your eating disorder brain.
Right.
And I'm like, how do we shut it up? But anyway.
That's Ed. That's Ed. That's how the ED, Ed
that's
is like all that's
Wait,
Ed.
I love that.
Well, I went to an eating disorder program, and not inpatient, it was a residential program. And they kind of taught us like to, when we speak about our eating disorder brain, like to characterize it.
I love that.
To name it Ed.
I love that.
And it separates it from who you are.
I'm going to start calling it Ed because also saying like, oh, that's my eating disorder brain. Like to someone who doesn't struggle with this, they're like, whoa, you know, like it sounds aggressive. And I'm like, it's not, to me, it's so normal at this point. It's just part of me. It's part of my life. And I don't feel like it's a heavy thing. However, I know that it is a heavy conversation for a lot of people. So I hope that anyone who listens to this conversation, whether they've struggled with this in any capacity, or they're struggling with it right now, or they're also trying to heal, or whatever it may be, I hope they just feel seen. Yeah. Because I would have loved to have conversations like this when I was struggling, but I think that started to happen a little bit later. You know, people opening up about this more and sharing a little bit more about it. Wait, you mentioned a residential program.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to one so bad.
Yeah.
But when I was at my worst, I was kind of living between Miami and Costa Rica. And there weren't any programs like that in Costa Rica. Can you tell me a little bit about that? And
it was amazing.
So you didn't live there?
I did live there.
Okay.
I lived there for 7 weeks. And I got very lucky that I got to live there for 7 weeks. Because a lot of people, like their insurance pulls it. And they're like, you can't stay here anymore. You're well. Even though nobody really is well after like 3 weeks.
No, we're unwell. Like,
right.
we're still unwell.
Right. Like even after 7 weeks. Like, I'm
still not okay.
Yeah. And then I came home and it was a pandemic and I was like, I am not okay.
Oh, the pandemic.
That was bad. That was bad.
Yep.
But going there, that was amazing. I felt like it was an opportunity for me to truly focus on self-growth and not have any of the distractions of work or comparison, social media. I didn't have any contact with friends. Like I didn't have my phone. I didn't have internet access. Like it was just about me getting better. So I thought it was the best 7 weeks of my life.
What did a normal day look like?
A normal day, so weekdays and weekends were different.
Okay.
Weekdays, I got to see my therapist. So I loved weekdays. Yeah. Like weekends, I was like, I hate this. Yeah. I need to talk to her.
Yeah.
But weekdays, it was like you woke up, you had breakfast. You would select your items before breakfast, like the day before.
Okay.
So you knew what you were getting. You had time to prepare for that meal.
So crazy. They thought of everything.
They thought of everything. There would be little sheets during breakfast, like an exercise for you to fill out like a
food journal?
Yeah, like a food journal. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there were just groups throughout the day. And some groups were mandatory and other groups were like choose which group you want to go to, kind of like an elective. Like you could go to art therapy or you could go to drama therapy or something like that.
I want to go to this now. Like,
it was amazing. It was
fun.
Like, I know. That's how I felt. But I do think I'm the minority. I think I was at a place where I was extremely ready to get better. Yeah. Which is why I liked being there.
Right.
But people who are there
against their will,
for
sure.
They're like, I hate it here, and they're trying to leave. So
let's go back to teens, 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
If you had to describe your relationship with your body in one word in those different chapters, what words would you use?
I think I have to start earlier than teens.
Okay.
I developed very early.
Okay.
Like I got my period when I was 9. I was in 3rd grade.
Wow.
So I had a body.
Wow.
So I have to start that early.
I was the complete opposite.
Oh, you were like one
I
of
was
those people
the latest
yeah.
bloomer, and I wanted to be you.
And I wanted to be you.
Right. It's like all my friends had developed and got their period. They had boobs, they had everything, and I was like, why do I look like a boy who's in choir? Like, you know?
And I wanted that.
Yeah.
Like it's the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
I would say for the early years when I first started becoming aware of my body, the word I would use is different.
Okay.
Just felt very different from everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think I probably would use that word until college.
Okay.
And then competitive. And then post-college, worthlessness. And now hopefulness.
I love that. I love the trajectory.
Yeah.
It's so real. Would love to know what messages you think kind of catapulted to go from different to competitive.
Yeah. I think that when I was feeling different from everybody else, it was it was like validated by my parents also acknowledging and my peers acknowledging that I was different from everybody else.
In a bad way?
I don't think they thought it was bad, but it had a negative impact on me.
Okay.
I think my parents were just naming, like they were just calling a spade a spade. Like they were worried, like our daughter is developing and like she's only 7 or 8, like when it started happening.
Yeah.
And my mom like took me to an endocrinologist and wanted to make sure that like
everything was okay.
And everything was okay.
And
everything was fine. But I was made aware of the fact that I was different. And my peers also would make me very aware of the fact that I was different. Like I was taller than everybody.
Yeah.
So then I think it turned to competition when I stopped being so different and I started to look like everybody else.
You were like, okay, now it's on.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now I'm just going to be better than all of you.
Yeah.
Like this whole time I've been different and I've been standing out because I'm different. And now I'm going to stand out because I am better and I can do it best. I can do this dieting thing better than any of you.
So what did that look like?
If there was something that like me and my friends all were going to, like in college, like
a party
or like spring break,
okay.
Like we're all going away in 6 weeks on spring break. I feel that I would make it known that I was going to be able to lose however much weight I wanted to lose before then. And that wasn't something that I kept private. Like that was a conversation that I would feel braggadocious about it. Like I would actually tell people I can do it. Watch me and feel proud of that like willpower and control that I had. And I would do it. But I would justify it by saying that I had the best willpower, the best discipline, that I was the smartest. I knew stuff that other people didn't know about food and calories, but really like it was just disordered.
So what did your disordered eating look like at that moment?
At that time, it was counting calories. It was trying to always be in a deficit.
Did you use MyFitnessPal?
I did use MyFitnessPal.
I can't fucking see that app ever again.
And
I've tried
all of the different foods and the brand name. It even had the brand names.
No. Oh, well, I lost my mind when you could actually scan.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my God, it's the most accurate. Because I would be so scared that it'd be off by a gram.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Insane.
And you would like add to it just in case it was wrong.
No. But the thing is, so my disordered eating, I think when it was the worst, I won't go into a lot of the behaviors, but one of them was tracking every single thing I put in my mouth, whether it was a strawberry or going to Chipotle and asking for everything individually so then I could go home and measure it just to make sure. Yeah. And I already looked up the calories before I went there. Right. Wouldn't go to a restaurant if I didn't have the nutritional value online. Or if I would go, I would literally ask for like, can I just get grilled chicken, no oil, no butter, just salt and pepper, and then I'll have whatever salad, no dressing, no cheese, like insane.
How did you tell people like, I want to go to a different restaurant? Like if you had plans with someone.
So when it was very bad, I wouldn't go. If it was something that I felt was going to disrupt what I had outlined for that day, I wouldn't go because it would dysregulate my entire day and my like nervous system would be like, I can't do it.
Right.
My Ed would be like, you can't go to that because that's what are you going to get?
Right.
Or you're going to fuck up.
Right.
Or I would go and I wouldn't eat. So sometimes my friends would be like, oh, it's taco night, you know? And I would go over and I wouldn't eat. I would just sit there and like, I would be fun and like nice and, you know, haha. And then I would just leave. And then I would go home and have the meal that I had put in MyFitnessPal. But I wouldn't let myself eat if it wasn't already put in there. And if I ate something and I hadn't put it in there, I would be like eating it and then be like, fuck, like I need to go put it in.
Right. Like the tracking was like a necessary component.
And then it was working out like I was going to war. Like you would have thought they called me to like, I don't know what the fuck I was trying to do. But it was at the very minimum an hour and a half a day, usually 2 workouts a day, no rest days. If I did have a rest day, it's because I could literally feel my muscles like burning. And I was like, I don't think I can go.
Right.
You know, if I overate one day or I, you know, did whatever, had a cheat meal, I would the next day emotionally, I was full of shame. I was angry. I felt sad. I can't believe I did that. I blah, 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 blah. So hard on myself. And then physically, I would work out probably triple. I would do like 2 spin classes back to back.
Like punishment.
Right. And then I was like, okay, now we're good. And then Monday started all over again.
Was it like the immediate now we're good? Or was it like days later you were still thinking, had you compensated enough?
That's a good question.
Like I feel even after I had already compensated,
you were like, I
still was like, but I don't know. Like,
I'm sure I did have those days. Yeah, I'm sure I did. But I would just be like, okay, I was like Ed Milet. I was like, no days off. Like, you know, one of those guys that's like, I don't, you know what I mean? No rest days. Like wake up at 5 a.m. like
2 a days.
All of that. Yeah. Which like, that was how I lived my life.
Yep.
Yeah. And I would rationalize it. I love how you said you were like, well, I'm disciplined.
Right.
I have so much willpower.
Right.
So I would say the same. And I felt so good because I was like, I'm so routined. I would go to the 6 a.m. workout. Then I would like show back up at 7 p.m. And then also I think what I loved, and this is why, and I've said this so many times, it's so dangerous to compliment someone on things like that.
Yeah.
I think you just have to be very careful. When I say this, I think sometimes people think like I'm saying don't tell somebody that they're beautiful or don't tell somebody that they're strong. No, that's not what I'm saying. Just watch your language because I would get compliments of like, wow, I could never, like, you're so disciplined.
Yep.
You work out so hard. You work out so much. And in my head, Ed loved that because it reinforced that what I was doing was positive.
Yes.
Or if I went out to eat and I got my grilled chicken with the saddest fucking salad ever, people around me would be like, wow. Like, also I come from a Hispanic household. And one thing about growing up in a Hispanic household is they are very okay talking to you about what you look like right off the bat. And every time I would come home from college, because I went to college in the States, whenever I would come home, I was filled with, and this wasn't even at my worst, but I was filled with so much anxiousness of like, oh my God, they haven't seen me in 3 months. What are they going to think? What are they going to say?
Yep.
Are they going to, and everybody would always comment, which I fucking hate. Like, can we just not do that? So I started to send messages before I got home and I was like, hey, can you please tell everybody? I would tell my mom, like, please tell everybody, like, I don't really care what they have to say about what I look like. It's really triggering, please. And for so long, they didn't get it because I just don't think this is a generational thing, I think as well. But anyway, let me get back on track. I told you my ADHD, I'm medicated today. Like, it's so bad.
But I'm so following you and I feel like we have multiple tabs open, but like
I know. We'll circle back. But just to close this, and then I would get compliments of, you look so good. You look so skinny. You look so strong. You look so whatever it is that people loved to say. Meanwhile, they obviously did not know. They were complimenting an eating disorder, disordered eating, working out to an unhealthy degree. And more than all the physical things that I was doing, emotionally, there was no worth at all because it was all conditional. And I did not understand that your worth is unconditional. That's the literal point of it.
Yeah.
So I just felt, I felt worthless, and it was masked by discipline and structure and routine.
I could not agree more with every single thing you're saying. I also, in my family, have a similar experience where the first comment is always about
it drives me insane.
It's always about how your body has changed, or it's literally always. And it's also every time I have two sisters,
Okay.
and it's me and my sisters and my mom have always been just like very close, it's very like feminine household.
Okay.
Anytime we ever caught up with someone and then walked away or went to a party and walked away, it's the first thing we ever say. I don't anymore, and neither does the rest of my family, but there's always some sort of comment on that person's appearance.
Yeah.
Always like, wow, she put on a little weight. Always. Or she looks good. I wonder what she's doing. Like, that's the first thing. So I know that's what they're saying about me every time they see me.
And I can't fault us for being there because I don't think before we knew any better.
Right.
That was normal.
Right.
It wasn't coming from a malicious place. You weren't like talking shit. You were just kind of observing and making an observation. But it's so damaging. Like, why are we talking so much about people's bodies? And also, it's like, again, something I had to understand was eating disorders don't have a look.
At all.
So when I first opened up to people that I was struggling, which was way after I was struggling, like I didn't tell anyone while I was struggling, I looked good.
Right.
I didn't look unhealthy.
Right.
Maybe what I was doing was unhealthy, and some friends would be like, damn, like, don't you think you can like take a rest day? Or like, why can't you just eat the fucking French fry, you know? So I think they notice little behaviors, but I physically did not look unhealthy.
Right.
So no one thought it was that bad. And that's also scary that you don't know. That's why you have to be even more careful is you don't know what you're commenting. Somebody could look so fucking fit, quote unquote, whatever fit means to you. And they could be doing very unhealthy things to look that way and feeling so worthless.
And you're positively reinforcing their bad behavior.
Exactly. Like I hope it's 2025. Yeah. I hope that we've all agreed that there's so many more interesting things about people than the way they look.
Yes.
And there's a way to compliment people.
Yes.
I love telling my friends, like, you look so fucking hot. You look so beautiful. I'm the first one that's going to say that, but I'm never going to comment anything else.
Yes. Honestly. I even try to make it about like their energy.
Of course.
Like I try to be like, you look so like bright.
Like
your energy is amazing. Like your aura's so good. Like I feel like I have to make it not physical because I'm honestly scared that anything physical that I say could be interpreted and like used any sort of way because I know how I would do it. So
how does body image / body dysmorphia, how does that show up in your day-to-day life now?
So body dysmorphia is one of those things that doesn't ever go away for me because like I said earlier, like the behaviors, the eating disorder behaviors, like the symptoms that can change, but the thoughts are automatic and I can't help that they come up. And body dysmorphia is so much about the thoughts and less about the behaviors.
Sorry to interrupt you. How would you differentiate the term body image versus body dysmorphia?
I think body image is your understanding of what you look like, and body dysmorphia is your warped understanding of what you look like, or your lack of understanding.
What your brain can convince you of sometimes.
Right.
Of like insecurities that might not even be there, or quote unquote flaws that might not even exist.
Yes.
But you've convinced yourself that they exist.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is so scary.
Yes.
Honestly.
I also think that for me, like I have been so many different weights. I have been like the largest difference between the lowest weight and the highest weight was like over 100 pounds.
Okay.
So I feel like I have a really hard time even having a body identity.
Right.
Like I don't know what my body identity is. So I'm always looking around and like wondering, is that what I look like? Is that what I look like? Like I don't do it anymore as much, but I actually used to send pictures of people I would see on Instagram like to a friend or to my sister and be like, is this what I look like? Because I needed to understand. I don't know what I look like because it's always been changing.
Yeah.
Like the eating disorder for me, it's not just one eating disorder. It's like everything you can imagine. It runs the gamut. Like name it, I've done it. So like so there was a part of my life where when I was symptomatic with restricting, I looked much smaller, but then I was just as sick when I was binging and I looked really big. And
that's what I'm saying.
People wouldn't have thought I had an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Like people would be like, what eating disorder?
Right.
But I was really, really sick. And I was 100 pounds overweight and really, really sick. And I think people probably just thought I didn't care about myself or I was lazy. I wasn't taking care of myself, but they didn't think it's disordered.
Right.
Yeah.
So today, how does it show up now? Or give me like a little moment when it show up on a typical day.
It shows up like in this moment. Like
you're thinking
the whole
about
time we've been having this conversation. It's like, how am I appearing on camera? Like, I know I don't like the way my arm looks. I know I don't like it. And I have an image of it being probably worse than it actually is.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like posture and and profile. And it's just constantly thinking about like, how am I being viewed by yes, exactly.
So
at all moments.
I've said this a few times, so I'm sorry to my girls for repeating myself, but something that's been fucking me up a little bit more lately is I started a podcast years ago because there was no video.
Interesting.
Not because of that. I can't shut up to save my life. And all I want is to, I don't know, I love making people feel heard and seen. I love people in general. Thank you. That's so sweet. I just feel like for whatever reason, I feel called to share. And I think I've gone through a lot of difficult things that I'm like, I think I went through it for a reason, and I love talking about it. When I started my podcast, video was not a thing.
Right.
And I was like, dude, I love this, because one of my biggest goals was when I found out about like the YouTube beauty community and all of that, I was like, oh my God, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I was so mortified. I'm like, I can't show myself on camera because, you know, I just was insecure, and I was like, I can't do it.
Wow.
So I started an Instagram account, and I started just sharing skincare. So I've archived all these posts, but for like 1 or 2 years, you never saw my face. I was building a community, but it was just like skincare, beauty, fashion. But
how were you showing the products? Like,
I would do like flat lays. I would do, cute, like that was such a thing before. Like there was this whole like skincare and beauty community that's why I get so much PR still. Some of my friends are like, how do you get so much PR? And I'm like, because I started this. That's how I started years ago. And I just maintained relationships because I've always loved that. That's always been one of my passions. But I hid behind that until I felt safe enough to show my face. And even then I would post like a selfie, but I was like kind of, everything was very calculated and strategic because I didn't feel like I deserved to show myself.
Yeah.
So then I started a podcast, and I loved it because I was like, I don't even have to show myself. I don't have to video myself. I loved it. And then fucking video became a thing. And now we're literally in a studio. It's an entire production. And this has been difficult for me because, again, I am prone to looking at myself through a very different lens than maybe someone who has never struggled with an eating disorder or with body dysmorphia or the list of mental illnesses that I have. So lately it's been, if I get the footage back from a podcast episode and I don't like the angle, maybe I don't like what I was wearing, I don't like the way my head looked, whatever it is, my brain will find something. I am so hard on myself, and I'm like, okay, well then maybe I need to lose a little bit of, I didn't like how this looks, so maybe I need to lose a little bit of weight, or maybe what if I get a nose job? Like I will go down that path.
Yeah.
And every single day I'm like, we're not doing this, but it is so difficult when I'm editing myself all the fucking time. I don't think we're designed to look at ourselves this much.
No.
I hate that I have to look at myself this much. I don't want to look at myself this much. No. I really don't. I wish this was not a part, like I wish the video aspect, I wish I could just film like my guest. Yeah. And that's it.
It's so true. Like we shouldn't look at ourselves this much.
Yeah.
Even in therapy, when I used to do virtual only, my therapist would always say, but when we started, hide self-view. Because I don't want you looking at yourself the entire time. Because that is what I would do. I would look at myself the whole time. And then it's like, that's not conducive to therapy.
Yeah.
Like I should just have a conversation with her and just be looking at her.
Because like you said, I think when you have struggled with this, it will show up even through your healing journey. Personally, I have found that it still shows up every day. Maybe I'm at a restaurant and there's all the calories on the menu. And I'm like, why the fuck do places do this? It's so rude. I don't need to know this. I want to have a good time. But again, my brain looks at numbers in a different way. So when I see the number, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I won't order something still to this day. And I'm like, see, if I would have been at a restaurant that didn't have that, I probably would have ordered it.
Yeah.
So it still shows up in little moments. But the video part of my job is fucking me up a little bit. And I just I'm trying to develop little strategies of where maybe I have like 1 or 2 designated editing days. So I'm not looking at myself every single fucking day. Or, just I'm trying to figure it out because it's like cry me a river, but it's hard.
It's hard. I think the best thing I ever learned was when those thoughts come into my mind, which we call in the world of like eating disorder recovery, automatic appraisals, to immediately create some sort of alternative, whether or not I believe it. That's the most important part. It's whether or not I believe it.
Yeah.
So like, I'm sure when I see this, I'll hate the way that my arm looks. And saying to myself out loud, your arm looks fine, even if I don't believe it, or even going as far as your arm looks good. Like, and I'll be like, I'm 100% lying to myself. But the point is, like, our brains are neuroplastic and we still are able to change. Like, we are able to grow psychologically.
Which is amazing.
And it is like, the day you die, you can. So, like, to be able to have that flexibility of thought is what gets you better.
What do you think is a silent killer of self-worth in women in this day and age?
It's Instagram. It's probably, everybody would probably say that. I know it's not a unique answer, but comparison and social media is that avenue for comparison.
Yeah.
And comparison is the thief of joy. It gets us nowhere. If we didn't live in a world where we had other people, other stimuli of people around us who we could compare ourselves to all the time, we probably would be much better off.
But don't you think you can compare when you're out at a restaurant?
I do, but I don't think that you're seeing a natural.
It's different versus being at home and being on your phone and
seeing the curated, like you're seeing the curated, unnatural, best version of everybody, as opposed to when you see people in real life, those actually are real examples of what people actually look like. So it actually might be helpful in real life to be like, okay, that's a gorgeous girl, and like she also has cellulite. But then online, it's like, that's a gorgeous girl and she doesn't have cellulite. So what do I?
I think I struggle with this because I agree.
Yeah.
It's so easy to compare, and it's so easy to compare to something that is not even real. There's so many editing techniques now and things like that. And even if it's not edited, you do have so much more accessibility to compare yourself. However, the part of social media that I love is now we see so many different types of beauty.
Yes.
And now we see there's a lot of people that don't just show the highlight reel.
Yes.
And those people have got me through lots of low moments. And so I think that we have control over that, though.
Yes.
You have the autonomy of what you're doing on your phone.
Yes.
And I mute like I'm paid to do it.
Yeah.
I unfollow with no fucking shame. It's never about the other person. It's always about me. It's always about, for whatever reason, I can't look at this right now. And I know myself.
Yeah.
It's self-awareness. And I'm going to remove myself. So I think that's also where we have to, it's so hard, but we have to be careful about what we're consuming.
The content we consume. You know? It's so true. It's like you could have a whole list of influencers that you follow that are positive influences.
Yeah. I want to talk about how these issues affect not only ourselves, but the way that we relate to other people.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about how body image and having a complicated relationship with yourself, your body, food. I want to talk about how that has affected your friendships. And then I want to talk about if it has. And then I want to talk about how it has affected romantic situations and intimacy, etc.
So friendships, I'm much better off now that I'm in recovery. But there was a time that I did not go to things because I didn't want to be seen.
Yeah.
And that was me not showing up as a friend. Like, I didn't go to my friend Michelle's bachelorette party.
Oh my God, this is so real.
I just didn't go. I didn't want to. And when she said why, like, why can't you come? I didn't even lie.
I missed a wedding of someone very close to me because of that reason. Because I was like, there's no way. It's like it overtakes you is what I don't think many people understand. Yeah. It completely took over. Yeah. I was like, I can't, there's no part of me, I would crumble. I can't do it.
Yeah, right. And it's like, that is very real to you.
It's so fucked up.
It's like, it's so beyond fucked up, but it's like, here's where it's like, so which side is right? Like the side where like the friend is like, but you need to show up to my wedding regardless. Like that's what you do as a friend.
They can both be right.
They can both be right because you both have different realities. Like in your reality, it's torture, and your friend wouldn't want you to be tortured.
The thing is, I think this is a case by case. Context is so important.
Yeah,
it's nuanced. There's not one right answer. But I think as someone who has struggled so heavily with this, if tomorrow I got married to God knows who, and one of my friends was like, I can't go because I'm feeling so X, Y, and Z. I can't put on a dress. I don't feel good. I feel like I'm not going to be my best self. I love you. Like, it would break me, but I would understand. Because I would be like, I was there. And at one point, that was the hatred that I had for myself was stronger than my unfortunately desired to be there.
Yeah.
Which is awful. But I wouldn't go on trips.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go on dates.
Yep.
I wouldn't go to the beach. I
Oh my God, no
wouldn't
beach.
take pictures. And here's the thing. When I talk about this, I always feel the need, especially with someone who doesn't get it. I don't feel the need to disclaim this with you because you get it. But for someone who's never struggled, I'm like, listen, this and all the things that I'm saying, I feel like it's covered in narcissism. Like it sounds like all I'm doing all day is thinking about myself, and that all I'm doing is worrying about myself, and that one of my values as a human is the way people look.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm thinking about you. And I just need you to understand this only applies to me.
Yes.
I don't even, my friends are like, did you see her shoes? I'm like, literally no.
Right.
Like, I couldn't care. I'm not someone who's looking at things like that. I'll look at a hot guy, like sue me. But I'm not looking at what people look like. I'm not looking did someone gain weight or not? I could literally care less. I'm also just, that's not a value that I have. I was not raised that way. So I hate that when I talk about these things with someone who doesn't get it, I never want to be misunderstood, you know, of like, wow, damn, like she's so preoccupied with the way she looks. It's like, no, it's not that I want everyone to think I'm beautiful. It's that I literally don't love myself.
Right. And it's just
so hard to explain.
It's so hard to explain because it seems like the most important thing to a person with an eating disorder is like beauty or vanity.
Exactly.
But like the eating disorder is just a manifestation of a deeper rooted issue.
Yep.
Like those are, you're just symptomatic of lack of worthiness, like a feeling of worthlessness.
When I went to therapy for my eating disorder, I am like such a Capricorn. I'm a type A perfectionist. I'm anal as fuck. So I was like, okay. So I kind of have this little issue that me before I went to therapy. I was like, okay, so I am not, it kind of freaked me out when I couldn't stop doing the bad behaviors.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is a little crazy. Because I feel like I can tell myself to do anything, which is dangerous. Powerful, but dangerous.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop. You know, I would maybe 1 or 2 days I would go without whatever behavior, but then right back. And I was like, fuck, like this is actually scaring me a little bit. So I gave myself a deadline and I said, okay, if I get to, I'll never forget it. I was like, if I get to October of this year, which was years ago, and I'm still not able to stop on my own, because that would have been a full year of me practically doing unhealthy things every single day. If I get to October, I'm going to get help.
Yeah.
So I got to October, still couldn't stop. I was like, okay, it's time for therapy. I'm very like logical with things like that. I'm like, okay, great. Didn't stop. Let me look for a therapist. I looked for a therapist. The one I found was booked. She's like, hey, my colleague is amazing. First session with Steph. I've talked about her a million times. She's been on my podcast, changed my life. I loved her so much. It was instant love at first sight. I always say like God sent her to me because finding a therapist you love is like dating.
100%.
You gotta
like,
sometimes
the numbers game.
Right.
Like you might not have chemistry.
Right. Except I have to pay for this date. And it's really fucking expensive anyway.
Right.
So I walked in, the first session, and I was like, well, you know, so I kind of think I have this like eating disorder that I don't really like, but I still want to lose weight.
Right.
So I am hoping that you can help me get rid of this eating disorder, but I'm still going to be having to lose weight because I can't stop like my workouts or my food. And she's like, she just kind of like smiled at me. She's like,
those two things can't
she's like, coexist. I'm not going to be able to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, then I can't do this.
Yeah.
And she was like, I think I need to see you twice a week. And I saw her twice a week for like, I don't know how long. And it took us probably 3 months for me to finally understand why I couldn't do those things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Let me not go on a tangent. Let's go back to how body image affects physical intimacy or dating. How has that shown up for you?
I am so scared of a guy seeing my body.
Oh my God.
I am just like, I am lights
Are you single?
off girly. I'm single.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, there cannot be any light in the room. Like if there is a crack of light coming through the window, like I need to cover it somehow. Like, oh, it's not happening then. So, but I'm trying really hard. I'm really, really pushing myself.
What does that look like?
I didn't let myself be seen, but I did let myself be touched.
Okay.
Okay, because normally, like, even the touching, I'm trying to control where you're touching.
Right.
I don't want a guy to touch a certain area that I don't like.
Right.
Or that I think he's gonna make this assumption about, or like he's gonna be grossed out by. And it's so sad to say it out loud. I feel pathetic when I say it out loud, but like this is my reality.
Yeah. Do you talk about it? Do you say it to the person?
I feel to say it is so unattractive, so I don't want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
But like the last guy I was with, he knew about eating disorder stuff because he knew me long term. So for him, I was actually able to say it because I didn't have to hide it. He knew like, okay, like, yeah, you're fucked up. So like, I was like, okay, the cards are on the table.
We all? Come on.
But with this guy, no, I don't want him to find it unattractive that I have like so many issues around body image. So I don't say it.
But what if we reframe that to, wouldn't he be so lucky for you to be vulnerable and share something that you've overcome and are overcoming, and how lucky would he be to be a part of that?
And that reframing is exactly what I need to hear.
I could say this to you, but then I'm like,
no, but even just you saying it, I know like I'm not going to believe it right away, but it's a drop in the bucket. But I did let him touch places that I ordinarily wouldn't. I was like, just let it happen, let it happen, let it happen. But then also I was like, lights off.
But I think it's okay if there's certain things that exposure is so difficult.
Yes.
That's what you're doing. Exposure work is so hard. And I think if there are certain things that are going to help you through that exposure, whether it's the lights off, who fucking cares?
Right, because you can't do exposure all at once.
No,
because that's called flooding.
No,
and that's
I didn't know there was a term for that.
Yeah, that's a term for it.
Okay.
So flooding can be like really overwhelming and traumatic. So like it has to be incremental.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah. So like when I was at that program, it was we would do exposures, and like the final exposure was going to Target and trying on clothing. But it started with like as small as, what are the things you're just writing down a list of, like, what are the things you're most
baby step
nervous
into it.
Baby step into it. And each exposure makes you that much more prepared for the next one. So it's a baby step.
I think you need to give yourself more grace. And in dating also, and I can take the same advice of, instead of thinking of the things you're not doing, like I'm not letting him touch me here, or I'm not letting him turn the lights on, think about the things you are doing. I'm on a date. I'm being open.
Yeah.
I am, even if it is with the lights off, who cares?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. You can also work your way there.
Right.
But also not punishing yourself for the things you're not doing, and almost rewarding yourself for the things you are doing. That way your brain is like, okay, because I know so many of those things we flag as danger.
Yes.
And so it's like we need to reteach ourselves that a lot of these things might feel uncomfortable, but just because they feel uncomfortable doesn't mean we're in danger.
100%.
You know?
I feel like it's a very similar concept to gratitude.
Yeah.
It's like you just have to name the things that you are grateful for, even when you don't have the things that you want. Here are the things that you do have and you are grateful for.
Right.
And like actually laying down that groundwork is so important.
I could talk to you all day. Unfortunately, we have to start wrapping up. I want us to talk, or I want you to talk to someone right now who they're struggling to love themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe they're struggling with their body. They're struggling with comparison. What would you say to her?
Negative self-image, negative behaviors around eating, comparison, all of these things keep you in a prison.
Yeah.
And it is a self-induced prison.
And there's no key.
And there's no key.
Or guard.
Nope.
No one.
Like, have at it.
Yeah.
And I think what really helped me is like that visualization of that jail cell and like, do I want to be here for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And if I don't want to be here for the rest of my life, then what are the things I have to do? And this is what I would say to somebody who's struggling is choose your hard. You can choose the hard, which is staying in the prison. That's the hard, you know. Mm-hmm. That's the hard situation that you know you're familiar with, and that's why it's comfortable. Because
ironically,
like, you know
the prison is safe,
right? Or there's an alternative hard, which nobody's saying it's easier than prison. It's going to be hard also.
Yeah.
But you don't know what it could feel like. You don't know. It's not familiar to you, and there is a possibility you could be happier if you choose to do the things that are difficult to get you out of the prison. So just try it, because you haven't tried it yet. Just try it. Try choosing that hard and seeing where it takes you, and you won't regret it.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Okay, my last question for you is a new question that you're the first person I'm asking to, but I want to start asking every single guest this question. If your younger self could see you today, what would she be the most proud of?
My younger self.
I want you to brag about yourself for a little.
Okay. I think she would be proud that I still have the like silly spirit in me that I had when I was young. I lost it for a little while because I was embarrassed to be like a funny girl. Like I thought that was unattractive, and it has since returned, and I'm silly and I'm goofy, and I definitely consider myself a performer and a comedian in my group of friends, like with people who love me. So I'm proud that that's here to stay, and that I aspire to be a good person. I'm not necessarily ambitious when it comes to like career goals. But I am ambitious when it comes to moral ambition and being a good person. And I'm very proud of that.
Never heard the term morally ambitious.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that.
I stole it from someone.
I love that. Okay. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for talking about shit like this, which is not fun by any means. It's a little triggering as well. But I think also when we talk about it, I don't know, you can tell me how you feel, but talking about it for me takes, the more that I talk about it, the less power it has.
Yes.
Because I'm like, this is just, it is what it is. It's, yes. I'm trying to not make it as serious. I'm trying to normalize it.
Yeah.
And take the weight off of it. No pun intended.
Yes.
You know? So yeah. I feel like I just had like a therapy session.
Me too.
To be honest.
This was so therapeutic. Right. And I'm really, like I needed this conversation.
No, same. Like that's why I was like, we need to have this conversation, because it's so different to have this with someone who just gets it. Because you just feel, it's like, you get it.
I also just like want to add one more thing, because I feel like I haven't said enough. Like, to whoever hears it, there is a world where you could be happier.
For sure.
Like there actually is. It's so hard to believe, but there is a world where you can experience joy. We're all capable of it.